my live session. It's more of a discussion session. I just released my latest article out there and I'm just coming out to discuss it. So, welcome. If this is your first time ever of hanging out with me, you're welcome to the space. Thank you so much for those on Clubhouse as well, Sibani and La. Thank you for being here. And those on Instagram, thank you for joining. And other platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Do like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever is on the platform you're joining from. So thank you again for joining me today. So yes, World Builders Mindset. Listen, guys, I wrote a book on entrepreneurs mindset. Okay, and you would almost think that all entrepreneurs are wealth builders. In fact, let me poll you guys. Let me poll you. Let me ask you a question. Are all entrepreneurs wealth builders? What's your answer? I'll give you it's a trick question. Are all entrepreneurs wealth builders? The truth is no. No, no, no. This is the sad story, guys. What's going on, what I've seen out there, and that this is why I'm releasing and sharing this, because I found out that many new entrepreneurs are trying to replace their job. And in fact, not only are they trying to replace their job, they're replacing it with something of more pain that is it's actually worse than a job. There's too many entrepreneurs at the base of the pyramid, right? First time entrepreneurs, particularly, they are embarking on a journey that is extremely more painful than a job, and they are not building wealth. They're involved in massive amounts of activities, massive amounts of painful engagement. Why? They don't have the clarity. They don't have the vision. Vision is the picture of your destination. Remember Game Plan 2.0, 30 keys to unlock success. I already shared that in my academy. It's my mindset coaching program, one of them, right? So if you're lacking clarity, if you're lacking vision, if you're lacking purpose, if you're lacking skill, if you're lacking knowledge, you will just bring over your employee mindset and you will create an employee type of business, not a well building with, right? Because you actually have to go back into, are you going to build assets and, right, a business that holds equity? Okay, so I think I'm diving in. Let me bring myself back and just share a few more things just to lay the foundation. For those who haven't been following some of my series, I've talked about the education system, how the education system has not prepared you if you're trying to build wealth or if you're trying to become an entrepreneur, right? The entire education system, the first 20 years of your life, you were being groomed, programmed to become an employee, to be an order taker, right? To follow the rules, to ask less questions, to do what you are being told to do, to develop a singular skill, one dimensional skill that the market will buy from you. The industrial era, the industrial sector needs you to become an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, on and on. You've done that. And the promise of that is an income, right? A job, a fantastic job that will help you become comfortable, right? When it's time for you to embark on a new journey, when you decide for yourself, nobody decided this for you because the system doesn't try to get you to become an entrepreneur. The system needs you. It needs everybody, push. There's so much work to be done in the business era. Once you also build yours, you understand because you will also need energy, skills, experience to power your own business, right? You will need that. So business development, businesses, right? You need skill. Everything you're going to ever do your business. That's chapter 1 of my book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur: Strategy, Skills, and Mindset for Achieving Business Growth and Success. But anyway, today I'm talking about well builders mindset. So in the past, I've talked about what's going on, what the struggle is, right? And so because I'm leading you to somewhere, And for those who are just joining today, I'm just trying to catch you up on some of the things we've talked about today. So, Jocelyn, feel free to come up to the stage. This is more of a discussion format. So, if you have any questions or if you want to share your own experience, you're welcome to, or even your own struggles or challenges that I might be able to help address. You can also use the chat area to share, ask questions, comment, and all of that, and I'll read it out. So, yes, wealth builders mindset. is different. You have to focus on building assets that will build, right? That will be able to support legacy. But again, the poll question I asked was, do you believe all entrepreneurs are wealth builders? And my response is no. Not all entrepreneurs that I've seen, particularly first time entrepreneurs at the beginning of that journey, when they're lacking skill, when they're lacking experience, when they don't have the right vision, all that they want to make money. Okay. They're not focused on building wealth. They're saying they want to make money, and unknowingly they create a survivor business that I say is actually worse. It's more painful. It's actually easier to just go get a job for this group, right? I've seen too many of it where people are burning energy, they're showing up everywhere, they're creating more content, more everything, yet they're not building systems, they're not building legacy, they're not building a brand, they're not building things that would actually yield to building equity and all of those things. So anyway, that's just the umbrella under which I'm sharing today. So well builders think differently, right? Because if you don't think differently, you will not be able to pull yourself out of the system and the rat race. And there's a rat race in entrepreneurship. There's another rat race in employee space. There are rat races everywhere. Things are ready to put you to work, right? If you're a first time entrepreneur, you already know everybody's ready to put you to work. The systems that say create more content, more. You put in your time, energy, resources, you create content, and that content, the question is, right? Does it have any future value? Here's one thing you also need to know. If you create content, if you use your energy, time, resources, I'm just giving examples. This is just discussion gist time, right? Right? The serious stuff happens in my academy, toyinumesiri.academy. Go check it out. So this is just gist. Okay. So let's give an example. It's a test if you're an entrepreneur. When you create a content, you want to ask yourself, anything you invest your time, energy, and resources in, if you are a strategist, if you're doing this right, you always need to ask yourself, what's the return on that time, energy, resource investment? What are you getting back in return? If you don't have clarity, right, on what you are there's no intentionality. If you don't have intentionality, you're missing this stuff. So the question is, every time you put your time, energy, and resources towards an activity, right, the output, what is the output what output does it yield you? So I'll give you an example in the content space. You create more content. The question is, does it have future value? Here's the key. It depends. I'll start breaking some things down. There's so much to this, guys. You can go to toyinumesiri.academy to learn more, but I'm just going to take one point and drill it in today. So I've started with the background, umbrella, but I'm just picking one example of how a wealth builder would think when it comes to content creation. Let me just give that one-dimensional focus. There's so many others, right? I've included that in my academy as well. But let's just give an example of how a wealth builder would think when it comes to content. And I'll share with you, like, that's what I do anyway. So let's say you create content. You need to ask yourself, is this content an asset? Did you just create an asset? Will it yield you future value? But it depends on you. You know why? If you take your content, depending on the content, I'm generalizing because there's another content strategy workbook that my academy students, they use to create their content. So there are different types of content. So I'm just using broadly. It depends. It depends on you, on many factors. What type of content, what's the purpose, what's the mission, on and on. That stuff is in the academy. That's where I teach. But let's just say you've created it. The first thing, what is the value of that content to you, to the world? Depending on the value you ascribe to it, current value, future value. If you put that content on platforms that devalues your content in 24 hours, in 5 minutes, in 2 minutes, your value just disappears. It goes from, it's like what they say when you drive a car, right? It just goes from high value to, it disappears into the abyss of all of these social media platforms, except few. This is where strategy comes in. But a well builder, myself, I will look at the value of what it is I'm about to drop. And I'm only going to put it in places where it will yield me more value over time. I'm not looking to, because every time you create content and that content disappears through, right? You post it now, you put it on social media, it's there, it's ranking, but every minute after you post it, the value goes down. Do you realize that? Except for some other things. You post it now, the value goes down. In most platforms, not all platforms, there are other strategies, right? Anything that takes your value and devalues you're not supposed to, not supposed to be doing that. What we are looking for, well builders, we are looking for things, we are looking to build things and create things that will hold value, increase value, multiply value, on and on and on. Do you get that? I'm just giving you an example of how a wealth builder will be handling this era of content creation. And most other people would just be, they're on a machine, churning out content, massive amount of content. Because why? They're trying to keep up with content. Are you trying to keep up? You are still on another, that's another hamster wheel. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Not all entrepreneurs are wealth builder. So when you think about it, not all entrepreneurs are in the process of building assets and things that hold value and increase value, because they are not thinking in this way. You're engaged in another activity, or you're now on another, hamster wheel. I'm one that once I see all of those things and somebody is dictating to you more this, more that, you need to start asking why. Why? What? You also need to ask, what is it giving me back? A wealth builder will always ask, what's the return on my investment, and how can I get maximum return for minimal effort? That's a wealth builder mindset. Listen, I'm oversimplifying this. In the grand scheme of things, I already taught a session with my workbook on wealth builders, like what you need to be doing if you want to build wealth, legacy, on and on and on. But I'm just sharing today, I'm leading this discussion on as an example. If you're an entrepreneur and a wealth builder, I'm just giving an example of, let's just say, content. You use your energy, time, and resources. You hire people, photographers, videographer. You use your own time, your skills, everything to create a content. And once you put the content on social spaces, what happens to the value of your creation? Does it go up or down? It's up to you. It's not, if you give your wealth, if you give your creation over to platform, the platforms are not loyal to you. They are loyal to their own, right? That's why I always talk about have your own game plan. Everybody that wants to win, they have a game plan. So welcome everyone, Miss Kelly, Andrian, Otto, Monica, Destiny. Feel free, please, to come up. This is just a discussion time. I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences, as well, your questions, your reactions to what I'm sharing as well. So please do come up, raise your hand, and I'll be happy to bring you up. I also see Bishop, Lupita, I'm not saying the names, but Mr. ISL, Adeze, oh my goodness, Guru. Listen, the names are tough on bear with me. I apologize. So yes, again, this is just an example. I'm trying to give you an example that if you are an entrepreneur and there's entrepreneur's mindset. In my book, I wrote a book on mindset of an entrepreneur. But what I'm also saying is, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, I'm seeing that if you don't put on your wealth builder's mindset, you will be on another treadmill, an hamster wheel. You will you allow systems to put you to work that is even worse than being an employee. You'll be an employee of the platforms of another type of system. If you don't put on your thinking cap as a wealth builder, meaning when you put your time, energy, resources towards creating a substance, right? Your focus is to build something that would last, that will hold value, maintain its value, that can grow in value over time. It has future value. But I'm giving an example now. You become quote and unquote, a slave of this new system that says more content, and you are throwing content every single day into this bottomless pit. And here's the saddest thing: these platforms do not keep the value of your content. The content value starts disappearing immediately you post it, except for some certain things, which is where strategy comes in. But first of all, I'm just saying, think, mindset, think as a well builder. What is the value of the content you're creating? There's a content strategy workbook where I talk about different types of content and mission. You're going to send your content on an errand. What errand are you sending your content? And realize that not all platforms, not all formats of content will yield for you the results you're looking for. But do you have clarity? What results are you looking for? Part of what's happening is that if you're not thinking about the future and you're only thinking about now, I need money today, this, you're still on that hamster wheel, reacting, jumping. The system is still using you, right? Because the wealth builder doesn't just think about today, they think about the future. Everything they're doing with their time, energy, and resources today, they are planting seeds for future harvest. Right? But there's another mindset that wants to plant today and reap today, and right? So you post today, and trust me, the platform, it disappears within minutes. Boom, 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 boom. We can't see it again. Boom, 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 boom. We can't see it again. And guess what? They now tell you more. It's because you're not creating enough. Then people like, there are some gurus, social media gurus that says, oh, hire a team. You should be a content machine. And you're trying to compete with multi-million-dollar businesses, billion-dollar businesses that can hire a crew of 100 that do campaigns hard, that pay Super Bowl millions of dollars. If you're a startup, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, second-time entrepreneur, you've got to have a different mindset towards this thing. You've got to value yourself, value your work, because nobody will value it more than you value it. Nobody will value it, right? And the value, if your work is meaningful and valuable to you, you're supposed to protect the value and manage the value of your creation. But imagine if you spend a year, and this is why I do what I do. This is what I'm sharing right now, is why I do what I do the way I do it. Okay? Is that you can spend a year, and this is the breakthrough, hopefully for somebody. If you, let's even say you spent a year, you spent last year, January to February, creating massive amounts of content. Where is that content today? What you created in your year, in a 12-month period, everything you use your time, energy, and resources to create, where are they? And stop creating low-value content if you want high-value return. That's another thought. I should have changed the topic of today's discussion because I'm bringing two different things, but bear with me. Just go with me. What I wanted to talk about, I've shifted it a little bit. Oh my gosh. I've moved more into the content. So maybe somebody needed to hear this today. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. If you create low value content, expect low value yield return, right? And if you are creating high value content, why are you giving your high value content away for free? Is that how a wealth builder would think? No. You're allowing another system to employ you without pay. This is why I say this one is worse than being an employee. At least if you're an employee, your employer will take care of you, will give you benefits. Listen, social media is ruthless. Social media platforms are absolutely ruthless. They put every one of us, they put us to work with zero pay. Okay, guys, if you're not used to me, welcome. There's sometimes I laugh. When I laugh, I've already explained it to people, it's because these things are too serious. I have to bring myself home and just cool it down, right? That's what I do. When I go into this extremely serious place, laughter is how I just say, you know what? It's not that serious. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Let's just laugh. Let's laugh about this. But hopefully the lesson is in the humor. The lesson is hidden in the humor. There's a worse process going now where you are working 247. You're dropping content, and that content is disappearing as soon as you put it on platforms. Because the system, the platforms devalue your creation. So, what are you going to do? What will you do? It first starts with you. This is where mindset comes in. Let's see the comments. Okay, Destiny. Feel free. Let me. If you want to come up, please just raise your hand. This is, it's a free space here. And the link up above is my Entrepreneurs Academy. There's a whole lot of resources, over 300 resources there for those who want to join and become a member. So yeah, I'm also the author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur, and I also have a TV show for entrepreneurs here in Illinois. You can access all the replays in my academy as well. So yes, so entrepreneurship is my space. Listen, I did a program for, I train entrepreneurs around the world. I trained, as example, end of last year, I did a program for a project for United Nations, training entrepreneurs from 38 African countries. So entrepreneurship is my expertise. I've studied it. I've written a book about it. I have a TV show about it. I'm teaching, training everybody about it. But I'm also saying not all entrepreneurs are wealth builders, because there's a certain type of mindset first-time entrepreneurs are using to run their life, which is actually worse than being an employee. An employer will still pay you, but an entrepreneur who puts all their livelihood into this basket, and you come up with not much. Check yourself in terms of what are you doing to you, your creation. Value your creation. So welcome to the space, Otto Tineni. Please tell me how to say your name. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Tainani.
Tineni. Okay.
Tainani, yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, please. What are your thoughts or reaction questions as well?
Now, I was just listening and learning. Someone pinged me to be here.
Awesome.
I'm learning.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm an author, published author as well.
Nice, nice. Tell us more
Yes,
about you.
ma'am.
What do you do? You're an author. What's your expertise? What
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
do? Go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Well, God, I met God in the elevator. And my name is Tainani Mason. I'm originally from Roseville, Michigan. I relocated to Scottsdale, Arizona. I am a published author. And the name of my book is Daily Affirmations from the Lord's
Wow.
Prayer. It is a devotional meditation prayer book.
Wow.
365 days, now available on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon as well. I I'm on and what I do is I help people tell their God-given empowering stories and
Mm,
become a co-author.
nice.
And so I am on a mission with my 100 anthology series. And I've always said everyone has a God given story to tell from all walks of life, all
Mm,
corners of the earth, and all ages.
love
And
it.
so if anyone are interested in telling your God given empowering story and becoming a co author, or you may even want to tell your story vocally on my podcast. So I just say, please invest in yourself. That's what
Mhm.
I come in at. So yes, ma'am.
I
Thank you so
love it.
much
I
for
love the
having
work
me.
you're doing as well, because you're right. You do need to tell your story. And I also love the angle of faith. I'm a believer as well. And one of the
Yes, ma'am.
things that I also try to work on this past weekend, right? Like I do a whole lot, so I won't talk too much about that. But part of the challenge really is that if you have an idea, you have a product, you have a service, you have a purpose, you have a dream, you have an aspiration, you have a calling, and when
Yes,
you
ma'am.
and yes, and when you decide that you want to create a livelihood, you want to build a business around it, what I say is you must build the right structure that will support it, right? But most of the time, people bring their products and services and dreams and calling to the marketplace, and they expose those things without the business structure because they don't have the business skills, right? So you can have your idea, you can have your dreams, you can have your calling, you can have your product and services. But if you're missing the business acumen, the business skill, marketing, sales, branding, to support the delivery of your value, consistent delivery. This is where the challenge is. This is where the wrestle is. This is where the rubber meets the road for many people. It's like, oh, yes, I know I have a calling. Yes, I know I can do this. Yes, I know. Absolutely. But there is a vehicle in the world of business, particularly if this is commercial and not a charity. If it's a charity, please give it away for free. You have a good heart. Give your time, energy, and resources away for free to people you like. Do good, do charity. If that is your thing, if it's a calling, then please give. But I'm saying the day you want to cross over into the world of business and you refuse to learn skills, business skills, this is where the struggle is for most people. This is where this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road, is that you can have technical skills in a space that you can offer the market, but the business strategy to sell that skill, to promote that skill, to deliver that promise in the market is a business skill. It's a business skill. And if you don't build your business knowledge and develop your business skill and adopt the right mindset on and on around your idea, around your calling, around your purpose, around your product and services, this is the struggle most people are facing. They think a product and a service is enough to build a business. No. If people do not know you exist, if people do not believe you, if they do not trust you, if you don't establish trust, if you don't price well, if you don't understand the people that can pay you or buy it from you, on and on and on, if you don't do the market research, business is business. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Business is business. I've served as strategies for the biggest brands in the world. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you refuse to put the structures in place, it's like you want to build a house. It doesn't matter what house you're building, but you've got to lay the plan. Excuse me. You have got to put how many windows. There are basic structures that a house must adopt. Now you can build 2-story, 3-story, 100-story. But the fundamental structure of having a foundation, building a plan, how many rooms, that vision must materialize. But when people don't develop these skills, they say, okay, I have this, I know I should be doing this. But what I'm saying is, the moment you want to sell something, not give it away. Giving away, listen, you can give away all you like everywhere. You can scatter yourself. I'm saying the moment you have something you want to sell and you want people to buy, building a structure around it is extremely important. That is actually what allows you to do it successfully. But back to today's topic. Do you want to react to that quickly before I move on? Any reaction? I saw your okay. I'll go on. And everyone, please feel free to reach out, come up stage to connect and share and introduce yourself as well. So today's topic is about well builders mindset. Is this idea that well builders must really, really focus on how they are using their time, energy, and resources, right? And the use of those things, what are you getting in return? Are you getting assets back, or it's just going down the drain? It's a question, because I've realized that even though I wrote a book on entrepreneurship, what I'm also realizing, we need to divide entrepreneurs into different buckets, right? Because the entry level entrepreneurs coming in, they're actually bringing employee mindsets into this world. And if you don't replace employee mindset with entrepreneurs mindset and then grow your entrepreneurs mindset into a wealth builders mindset, you will build a business that will put you to work and employ you again. Your business will dominate you again. And this time around, it is worse than being an employee. You know why? Because as an employee, you have support system around you. You have to do few things and everybody else works with you. But as an entrepreneur, you're on your own. So don't do that to yourself. This is what's happening. This is what I'm seeing as I've taught entrepreneurs from around the world. The real struggle is, if you bring employee mindset into entrepreneurship, you will unknowingly damage yourself again. You know why? You will be in survival mode perpetually, because you're not making the level of investment, the future investments, right? You're not making investments today that will serve you in the future. You're only doing things because you want to serve and eat today. You have bills today. That stuff is a survival mindset. Because those who want to build wealth, they will first invest capital to build assets that will then yield return. Right? You build assets first. Build assets first. But what is supposed to be your assets? Guess what's happening? Social media is taking it away from you. Right? Depending on what your business is about. I'm just giving an example. What is supposed to be an asset? If you give it away, social media and everybody's ready to collect everything, all your creation. So if you're a wealth builder, you've got to build differently. And that's what I teach. Okay? Is that if you do BRS minimum, expect BRS minimum. If you don't build the structures right, it doesn't work. Right? This is the struggle. But I always say, develop skill, develop the right mindset, develop the right strategy systems. These are core things that you must do. And wealth builders do this thing different. They do entrepreneurship differently. In fact, there are employees that also are wealth builders. They will use their income to buy, invest. I don't know if I should share all this. This is what's in what part of the program in my academy. You can be an employee and have and adopt a wealth builder's mindset. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. Hear me well. What you do with your income is the key. So I've just shifted from the entrepreneur side as an example. I'm shifting now to employees that actually have a wealth builder's mindset. People don't know this. That income, let me break employees into two. Let me just explain. Let me break employees into two. Okay? Is that there's a certain employee employee group that they adopt consumer mindset. All their income, they give it back to the system that took their time, energy, and resources. You are on that hamster wheel. You give your time, energy, and resources to the system gives you income. You take your income, you give it back to the system gives you consumable things that do not have value. Remember, I'm talking about wealth builders. You think not just of the value today, but the value tomorrow. Everywhere you're going to put your time, energy, and resources, you always ask this question: what am I getting back? The handbag, the shoes, and all of those things. There's a group of employees, they are living. All that they are doing, their time and energy, they give it to the system. System gives them income. They give the instant income back to the system. They, in return, consumables. But I'm also saying there's another group of employees that are super smart. They are also well builders. They will take that income and build assets. They don't have to become an entrepreneur. This is why I say entrepreneurship is not for everybody. But wealth builders' mindset is for everybody. You can be an employee, a smart one, and use your income to buy, build, expand assets. Assets is what everybody needs to be going for. And you also find entrepreneurs with the first consumer mindset, thinking only about what they are going to eat. Okay. Those who are not used to me, let me pack my load now and just close things out. Any thoughts? Because I'm keeping myself, because when in my academy, I speak so sharply and directly that people out there are not used to it. Because one person, listen, if you want a mama that loves you and will tell you the truth and tell you, check yourself, look at the mirror, there is smudges on your face, clean your face. This is what you are doing to yourself and your future. If you want that kind of person, then you go to ToyinMesri.academy. But out on the streets of social media, I'm here to be social. I want to be a good host. I don't want to send you away. I want to be nice. I want to be kind. I want you to feel welcomed. So I only give you what you can take. So I'm packing my load now. I'm about to close out, guys. But generally speaking, I've already spent 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes, and I'm ready to wrap up. Check out ToyinUmesiri.academy. The link above is above for those on Clubhouse. For those who are watching, Toyin, my first name, my last name, .academy. And if you want to learn more about me, my personal work and all those things, other things I do, please go to www.toyinumesiri.com. That's where you know more about me. But my school is ToyinUmesiri.academy. So it's a wrap. But if there are any questions or reactions, or right, I'm happy and honored to address it. But if there are none, I'm going to close out. But I see a comment. Destiny said, great information and thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge. Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, one of the things I even shared in my academy today, I said, the system, I'm talking about the system, there are many systems. The system didn't give you the information that you need to build wealth. If you went to any traditional Western education system, the first 20 years of your life, the system gives you a manual for you to develop a skill and to adopt a mindset that the system will use. Your certificates, your degrees, they are for your employers and your income. They are not for well-building. So there is a different type of knowledge wealth builders pursue. They pursue this knowledge of understanding the system, mastering the system so that they can use and leverage the system to power the future and life of their dreams. That knowledge is not in your textbook, the ones you read, that you spent 20 plus years getting BSc masters on. I didn't see it there. Did you see it there? I didn't. What I'm talking about is not there. That's why when we say invest in this future so that you can understand the system, right? Master it. First of all, understand it. See the game. See how the world is, not how you think it is. Understand how it is set up. The whole world is not set up to make you successful. It is set up, right? Existing industrial era. The education system as it is today was set up to serve the industries, not the individual, right? And when COVID happened, listen, individuals bore all of the pain of COVID. So people now are trying to rebuild. But how you rebuild, I hope you won't go back to the old. I hope you will create a better future for yourself, that you empower yourself, that hopefully COVID opened and enlightens people's mind to how the system is set up, right? Is that the system is set up the way it's set up, whether you like it or not. Your job is to understand what's going on and to use it to your advantage. But I'm saying that knowledge is what you must now pay and invest in if you want to operate outside of what you already know. The system gave you a manual, taught you for 20 years, gave you a mindset, a way of thinking, a way of being. It gave you a skill, accounting, marketing, medical, right? It gave you a skill. It gave you a way of thinking, a way of being, of taking orders, of not asking too many questions or just following, being a follower. That system designed you and programmed you to function a certain way. When you decide to take your life back and say, woo, am I powering this system or is this system powering me? When you want the system to power you and power your life, you now have to enroll in developing, right? You want to invest in real estate. Was it in your degree? Was it in your... No. Did your BSc give you that? Did your master's give you that? You now want to buy assets. You want to buy a gas station. You want to invest. You want to do all those things. Now you must go and learn from those people who have the knowledge. You want to build a business. You want to become an entrepreneur. You must now invest in your own future, in you, not just in the industrial sector. It's now, it needs to be about you. You see why I said, if you're not used to direct or head-on truth and honesty, me and you, you won't like me. Saving worker for themselves mindset. You have to save this. Well, you have to save this life, right? You say you are too smart. You are breaking the elite code. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Keep it coming. Well, some will pay attention to me, some will not. Some will say she has an accent. I can't hear her. Let those people remain blinded. It's okay. I'm not for everybody. The people who I am for, who God created me for, they are hearing me all over the world. They are paying attention. They have their pen and paper, right? They are enrolling in my school. The people who want to rescue themselves from the system. I worked for the biggest brand in the world as a strategist. Executives at the world's largest company, they listen to me. It's on social media, people don't listen. People like, listen, social media is also taking your time, energy, and resources and giving you what? any space where you're giving time, attention to, and that space is not giving you yield, you are not a wealth builder. Because a wealth builder is conscious. Your value. This is why we say your time is your money. For a wealth builder, your time is your money. And if you give your time away with and get no money, okay, see my laughter. You see, can you see it? I've warned you. The moment I just laugh is because it's too serious. Okay. Oh, Kabalaga, yo. Let me tell them. Kamala guy says she's one of my members, coach. Oh, my clients. She said people better listen up to Coach Toyi. There's so much wisdom in her words. She's gone through my program. Okay, she also said, okay, there you see, she said, I love when she's direct. Thank you. But I also want to acknowledge not everybody is used to this type of direct. Well, oh, Chisholm also said, please be direct. Okay, people are casting their votes. Thank you. People are casting their votes. Thank you. My. Listen, I say it as it is. Sometimes it's disruptive. You know, if you are used to thinking a certain way, behaving a certain way, you've been programmed 20, 30, 40 years, 50, 60 years to be the person you are, and you now go into my game plan 1, game plan 2 program, you will be disrupted. You will absolutely be disrupted by my program. You will have to pick things. It will be it's disruptive. Okay? Jesus says, accent and all, we understand and follow you. You speak truth, fact, keep it real. I can't change. God knows. My own conversation with my creator is like, God, oh, you say I should speak. When I open my mouth, are people ready for the truth? Are people really ready to hear the truth? Because if you've been programmed for 60 years, 50, 40, 30, 20 years to think a certain way, to believe certain stories, to become a certain person, to function a certain way, and Toyin is coming and saying, whoa, check the mirror, check again, check in with your soul, check in with your energy, check in with your soul, check in with your spirit, check in with God. Check in again. Are you doing what you are supposed to be doing, or somebody has put you to work? Or the system has put you to work? Listen. Okay, it's hot. I get it. Okay, let's put this out there. Ms. Kabala guy said, I will say that employee mindset does slip back ever so often. It's a daily practice to think and see and act differently. Oh, this is why we talk about mindset exercises. I just got done with a 30-day mindset coaching program. Because we need to rewire ourselves, guys. It's like if a house, the wiring is off, the plumbing is off, we need to rewire ourselves. I just went through game plan 2.2, 30 keys to unlock success. Success 1, key 1, legacy. Think, why did I go through that program? So that we can orient ourselves properly. I talked about vision, being the picture of your destination. You know why? You can get distracted on this journey. Even when you put in your GPS, I'm going to California from Chicago, where I am. On that journey, every single day as you embark on your new journey, first you must set a new destination. Because the current programming, I talk about thought. Listen, let me quickly, for those who are not in my academy that do not know what's going on there, what's going down, let me give you just a few things here to work with. When you're ready to disrupt yourself, once you've disrupted yourself, there's a program that I have that will disrupt you for sure. It will show you the real you, the real world, and the real things you need to be pursuing and building for yourself. Once you now are armed with those things, you now have to reset your GPS. Your thoughts, they are the GPS of your life. If it's been programmed, it means you've been heading in a direction. You now need to listen. You need to reprogram it and set a new destination. And it will now tell you, oh, at the nearest distance, turn right, turn right. Like it will reroute you. You need to be rerouted so that you now arrive at a different place. Because everybody right now in that system, you work all you want, age 65, you retire, you give your time, energy, life to the system. The system keeps giving you income as long as you have time and energy. You arrive at a certain point, 65 something, whatever, wherever you are, depends, where the system says, you know what? You now have less time, less energy. They pack you. Right? And they now say, well, since you can give us less time, less energy, we can now give you less. This is the assembly line. Zoom. Everybody gets there. This is what, whether you like it or not, there's a day that will arrive. The future arrives, and the future will ask you, did you build assets? Did you build legacy? Or did you give all your time, energy away and got minimal? Okay. I'm saying this is stuff. So I'll bring it down. Don't worry. I'm bringing it down. Let me bring it back to simple social media. Not right? Okay. Now, what's going on? If I go back to that comment, okay? Employee mindset slips from time to time. I get it. Is that when you now orient, you've been spending 40 years believing, behaving a certain way. The lion in the zoo has now been released to the wild. I've talked about this before. If this is your first time, I was about to close, but Miss Kobola guy just increased the heat now. So I'm going with, they said I should be direct. Okay. So now you've been programmed, right? What I prefer is like a drastic reprogramming. That's part of the 30-day. If you take, it's how many hours? I think it was 11 hours of reprogramming. If you take each of the keys for success for 30 days, one key every day, 11 hours later, you will reprogram yourself. That's why those on social media, you're eating crumb here, your mind cannot even remember what you read yesterday. No transformation happens. You have to pursue transformation. You have to renew your mind. That's what Jesus talked about. We've got to renew our mind. But what I do with my programs is I make it so drastic. It's like the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Once you become a butterfly, you can never go back to caterpillar. Even though you might still have their days, right? But it will be less. It's not dragging you back. You might feel the feeling, but it's not taking you back to the past. You are flying into the future. So my programs, really, they are concentrated, they are disruptive, they are reprogramming, and I compact it so that, because people think you can take 5 years completing this reprogramming, going from place to place, eating crumbs, and you may not even complete it. You may still be the same person or a little bit different, right? This is the transition point many people don't complete. If you don't complete your transition, you are still functioning with the old program. I'm saying, just like a computer, let's remove that operating system and offer a new operating system. The game plan 2.0, 30 keys to unlock success, 11 hours every single day. Trust me, if every single day you take key 1, key 2, 30 keys to unlock success, when you finish that program, your life will change. You will change. You can't be the same person anymore. You start functioning different. It's like going to school, 3 months in a class, on and on. You now know something you didn't know before, so you can do things you couldn't do before. So that's how I've organized mine. It's disrupted. I will be honest with you. So when you're not ready for that work, people will just stay on social media. Just, you're going around and around. It's like in the Bible, the children of Israel, sometimes they'll go round and around the mountain. Some people are going round and around on social media. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. They've not still gone they're not going towards the promised land. And some people will get to the promised land, but because they didn't prepare, they didn't get the skills, they didn't get the right mindset to fight for what is theirs. Even when that thing is guaranteed, they still go back. They go back to the past again. So I'm using scripture now. Okay, as a believer, these things have spiritual dimensions as well. The time you're supposed to be preparing, you're going around and around the mountain, round and around on social media. How many leaders do you need? 100 leaders. You follow this, you follow this, you follow that. They are not leading you to success. Okay, instead of preparing, God has made you promises. Instead of using this time to prepare to develop skills so that when that promise land, you are that person that has the capacity to claim everything that belongs to you, or build everything that belongs to you, or become that person. You didn't do it. So when the first challenge comes in business, you pack your load and you say, you know what, I'm going back, because you didn't prepare. You didn't prepare. That's the key. You thought it was something it was not. You weren't aware that there were enemies and giants in the land that belong to you. That the assets that you want, as you are embarking on this new journey, when you go through that program and you set a new destination for your life, for your future, for your children, for legacy, even on that journey, if you don't prepare well, guys, if you don't prepare well and you assume easy breezy beautiful, listen, that's why I say find yourself in a community that will keep fanning your flame, keep encouraging you, keep inspiring you. And if you don't invest in being that space, you are on your own and you are exposed to all the weather, the distractions, because there are too many systems ready to take your time, energy, and resources and give you nothing in return, which was the example I was giving about some entrepreneurs that still have employee mindset. Now what is putting them to work is even worse. Social media puts you to work and doesn't pay you, and you're not building assets and you're not building legacy. What are you doing? Go back. I'm saying go back in the sense of use time to prepare. Prepare before you show up to the war zone. Prepare before you show up to battle. If you want to win, develop skill. Don't show up, don't just show up. Oh, you're seeing people swim. Go and learn swimming so that you can swim. Anyway, I beat that one down. So employee mindset can still slip back, but part of why my own program is set up and the community and all of those academies set up is that if you still go by yourself and you don't have inspiration every day, and you're not listening and being guided, being supported, you're not in a community that will keep nourishing you, and you go out, it's headwinds. You face the headwinds by yourself. That's also the challenge, right? Is that every single day you've got to have this mindset reprogramming program. I don't even know what to call it, right? We all have to, right? And there are levels to it. Part of what I also am sharing in terms of well-builders mindset is also realizing, even though I wrote a book about employee mindset, which I talk about and share, and I'm on media and all of those things, what I'm also saying is that not all entrepreneurs are world builders. Some entrepreneurs have just replaced their job with a survival business, and that survival business is ringing them, like putting you to work. It's like being in a washer. It washes you and spits you out. And guess what? Did you build assets? You did all this work. A year went by. What did you move? What were you able to move into the new year? What can you say you've built? What can you say you have? What asset? What does your brand mean? Is there equity in your brand? On and on and on. This is the difference, right? I call it survivor business versus legacy business. World builders will build legacy business that have assets, equity, right? That you can step back, somebody else can run it, and it can still continue generating income. Others will have a survival business because they are using their employee mindset to power their entrepreneurship life. When all is said and done, no value, no asset, no brand, no marketing strategy, nothing. Yes, you will survive, you'll be fine. But listen, you'll be so tired, you'll be so worn out, on and on. So anyway, I just put a lot out there. Let me attempt to. Okay, I'm seeing Abiodun says the table is shaking. Miss Destiny says, so true. So let me read this. We have to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. Learning is not just for the students, but masters have to continue to pour into their own hands to help others, and vice versa. Yeah, it's that not all knowledge is the same knowledge. That's also what I'm sharing. Because many people think that the knowledge that was given to them by their masters and BSc and everything, that knowledge will power you to build wealth. No. If it did, then you should have done it already. Let's see. Miss Kobalaga said, it just eats me that those of us who did very well in school. Okay, let me. That was a laughter. I'm catching myself now. Those of us who did well in school were very compliant and would have a harder time switching mindsets because we bought in very strongly to the story. OMG. Listen, I am the type of person, I graduated first. Like, I'm kind of one of those A teachers' favorite students. Those in Africa, they know what head girl. I was the head girl of my high school. Listen, but I think my own saving grace was my parents, my dad in particular, my late dad, right? Is that I was that compliant, super smart, all these things. Oh, yeah, yeah, always doing the right thing. But at home, listen, my late father disrupted, he disrupted you. He put me to work. He was a leader in the community. So thank you, Kobola guy, for sharing that. Let me just, it's just taking me down my own personal story. Okay. Is that the saving grace for me? Really, that's kind of helped me balance things out, that continues to help me, is that I was raised in the corridors of power. My dad was a leader, and I was exposed to very highly successful people, even royalty, right? So, in a way, I know what powerful, influential people, how they think, what they do, how they move, how they. One of the, the most funniest thing is how they laugh. I can hear it now. When they're in the room, they're drinking tea, British. Listen, you get into another class, you start drinking tea and pies, and somebody will, their laughter is exaggerated because, listen, you better laugh at that guy. That guy is powerful. The way you laugh when, is this too much, guys? Is this too much? When powerful people attempt to be funny, the whole room better laugh. You, in fact, you want him to know you laughed, or you want her to know you were laughing at her joke. You laugh, and then, oh, good, and they feels happy. Anyway, that is he's coming back to me. Listen, those rooms is light. Everybody is fine. Everybody's exchanging, like everybody's the rhythm in those rooms, the flow in those rooms. You can smell power. You can smell influence. They are in charge. They are the ones ruling the city, ruling the country, making decisions. When people who make decisions, who make policies, when they gather, they are not stressed because they are in charge. Their pen means something. Okay. I host ambassadors and all. That's another topic. But anyway, so thank you. That really brought. So what really helped me was, yes, the school system on and on, but leadership was practiced in my home. Leadership. And that leadership principle also allowed me to lead in school. So in high school, as a 17, 18-year-old, I was running the school as the head girl, working with principals, leadership. In primary school, I was the bell ringer with my, the teacher, when the teacher leaves the class and say, write down the noisemakers. Yeah, I'm on the side of, anyway. So in a way, leadership was gifted to me, and with that leadership exposure, it allowed me to buffer all of the programming. So even my own programming was, from a young age, I was groomed to be a leader. So that helped me a lot. Because if you are only in that system and you're not leading, in high school you did not lead, in primary school you did not lead, and you did not fly, you didn't develop your own thinking capacity and independent. Like, I was very independent even in high school. Very, very independent. Like, I don't want to, yeah, again, this just made me go into personal stories. Well, a world builder must adopt an independent, you have to be an independent thinker. You have to think for yourself. You have to make it very, 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 very difficult for somebody to program you and make you run against your own will. Yeah, even when I was in corporate, listen, When I say I'm a disruptor, even in corporates, oh my goodness, I didn't sit still. And the people who wanted me to sit still, listen, I went head to head. I used the system. I went over and beyond several steps because what I want to do, I will do. That's me. You won't stop me. You won't stop me. You will not stop me. And you need that in entrepreneurship. You need that kind of thorough, independent thinking. Otherwise, every day somebody's programming you and you are, you know, the subconscious, you're subconsciously showing up based on the stories other people have told you, who people told you. Oh, somebody said, timekeeper, head girl, senior. Listen, I'm just going back down memory lane. To be honest, I thank God for that foundation. The foundation is also matters, right? But anyway, even if you didn't have that foundation and all of that, you can gift yourself, right? This is part of adulting. Once we can disrupt our own thinking pattern, can we now lead ourselves? That's all I'm saying. You can lead yourself with the right skills, with the right tools, but now you must lead yourself, right? My academy used to have leadership there. It's also part of personal leadership, the game plan, 12 strategies for winning. Do you want to win? Then develop your game plan. How do you develop a game plan? Because listen, everything is rigged, right? To function a certain way. And if you don't remove yourself to really see the system, do you know also my background? I'm a systems integrator. Maybe I'm just that feedback about guy is making me think deeper. So I'm a certified SAP consultant. This is a German software. So part of my background, what I used to do, and I still have this certification, right, is I integrate systems for the biggest brands in the world. Okay. So even for me to function in that capacity, you have to think outside of the system to integrate the system. But if you are in the system, you cannot see the big picture. You cannot see the play. It's like the game plan. The referee that is not in the game, he can see how the game and how the movements of the opponent better than the player. It's better to see the big picture of life before you insert yourself and start running a race. Understand the rules, the principles. Understand that you're here to win. Have a clear vision that you're not just here to play the game and spend your energy, time, and resources and lose. You're not going to lose. Right? If you're in need to win it, you've got to discipline yourself, practice this, right? You've got to prepare differently. You've got to study differently. But what I'm saying is not everybody's here to win. Many people prefer to just survive and coast by. And that's okay. No judgment. So in a way, part of my skill for the biggest brands in the world is to be outside of a system, the integrated system, and connect the dots. Finance and controlling, right? Procurement systems, manufacturing system, retail systems, right? EDI, ASN, all of this technical, that's my technical background, supply chain, logistics, manufacturing, right? Bringing it all together and then making sure it's a well-oiled machine that's information flow, transaction flows through that system. So that's also my background. So when I became an entrepreneur and now I support entrepreneurs and teach them, I'm saying if you're in that system, listen, you're powering the system. If you're supposed to be building your own system. But I also understand not everybody has that systems thinking, systems background, design thinking framework understanding. I get it. That's what I've developed, right? It's the same skill that I've brought to say, okay, for you to build a structure, a business structure, hand to hand, 10-week accelerator. I spent the entire year last year teaching this class. You can now complete it in 10 weeks. That's my own gift to the world, guys. That's my own gift, right? Some become a doctor, some become a lawyer, some become experts in accounting, some become experts in flying a plane. I am an expert when it comes to business structuring, integration, right? Well, good. And I've put myself to studying that. I've written books, developed program, I've created school. I train entrepreneurs around the world, United Nations, on and on and on. If you pay me, I will teach, right? But anyway, I'm just saying that just that question made me take a moment to just also reflect. So you too reflect. I just did mine publicly now. Why are you doing what you're doing? What led to you being this person you are? Is this really who you wanted to be? Are you a wealth builder? Again, you can be an employee and be a wealth builder. You can be an entrepreneur and be a wealth builder. You can be an employee and not be a wealth builder and be a consumer. You can also be an entrepreneur and build a survivor business, not a legacy business. All of this, and decide which of everything I just shared, which one are you in? And which one, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And join us at toyinmesiri.academy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Excuse me, Miss Kobala guy just totally threw me into memory lane right there. It is what it is. I show up as I am. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Anyway, it's fun. That's what I do. I love like this type of format. Is very just, it's easy, it's natural, right? It's unplanned. That's okay. And when you're ready to go to school, learn all these things, which wasn't included in your first degree, second degree, learn the skills, branding, marketing, sales, mindset, on and on. Please visit Toyin Umesiri Academy. There's a session, there's a free entry all way that welcome you. There's a basic free access, there's a professional access, there's a premium access. Take your pick, but I totally encourage you to go all into the premium. That's where the meat is. That's where the accelerated transformation. You won't be the same again. Yeah. Speed matters. Speed matters. Speed of transformation matters. Don't take it slow. The future is waiting. The future is here. The future is now. Right? Some of you guys, listen, you needed to have been doing this 5 years ago. You know, the ideas you're trying to implement now, you've had it for 5 years. Can you imagine if I never took the bull by the horn and ran my own race? Well, can you imagine if I'm not here? Like, listen, I don't even want to imagine what else I could have been doing if I didn't do this work. I don't, listen, I'm thankful to God. He showed me the future and I ran. I ran after it. I wanted the future and I'm here. And there's another, you just keep running. What you don't run after, listen, you are keeping a distance. Listen, if something is waiting for you here and you are here, and you can see it's here, and you're not moving fast towards it. When God puts something before you, run. And the speed of your race will determine the speed of arrival. But I see people are not running. I'm like, do you really want this? You know, when Jesus showed up, right? Do you really want this? Let the world know you want this so much. Let your children know. My children, they are funny. Anyway, let me not go personal again. Let me just keep it. Let me hold myself. I'm in control. I'm in charge. I show up as I want to show up. Anyway, but run after what you want. Right? Run like somebody's chasing. Anyway, you don't get it. This is where your mindset comes in. There needs to be an internal motivation that is not external. Yes, I can trigger things externally, I can motivate you, but the most powerful motivation is one that is driven by your own desire. The desire you want for yourself, how you want your life to turn out, needs to determine how you're putting and investing your time, energy, and resource. Your time, energy, and resources are the only things you have to invest in. And if you invest it wrongly, you get what you get. I'm saying, be more conscious where you're putting your time, energy, and resources, right? Invest in education, invest in networking, invest in things that will actually yield for you what you say you want. It's about you. Okay? That's it. God bless you all. Thank you.